Hello everyone, welcome back to another SQL problem called Apple product counts. And this is a medium problem. And this question has been asked by Google and Apple. So the question says we have to find the number of Apple product users and the number of total users with a device. And then we have to group the counts by language. We have to assume Apple products are only MacBook Pro, iPhone 5s, and iPad Air. We have to output the language along with the total number of Apple users and users with any device. And after that, we have to order the results based on the number of total users. So yeah, it's pretty complicated, but let's take a look at the data. So we have playbook events, and that we have user ID. Let's take a preview. So this event occurred at this time. This is the event type, event name. This is the location, and this is the device. So we are interested in user ID and device. And it says we have to find the number of Apple product users. So as you can see, this user is using an Apple product, but this is not in any of these. So we just have to count all those Apple product users which are using any of these three products. And we also have to find the total users. So in output, what we want is we want something like this. We want the language, number of Apple users, and number of total users. So language we will pick from playbook users. This is the user ID and this is the language. So first of all, let's perform the join and select the columns that we need. So let me call this playbook events as E, and we will do a join with playbook users, and we will call this U, and we will do a join on E dot user ID and U dot user ID. And we will select language. And what else do you want? Let's pick device and let's order them by language. Now let's run this. So as you can see in Arabic, nobody is using any of these three Apple products. And in Chinese, we have 4 users and only one user is using the MacBook Pro. And we have 4 users. So let's try to calculate this. So what we will do is we will we'll create one Apple flag. Let's use the case when statement. Case when device, case when e dot device. Let's call this E. So this is coming from users and device is coming from events. So case when e dot device in MacBook Pro, iPad Air, or iPhone 5s. Then we will call it 1, else 0, and we will do an and as Apple flag. Now let's run this. So we got the Apple flag. So this is not an Apple product. This is not in this list. So that's why we have 0. Then we have iPad mini. Then we have 0. But MacBook Air is in the. No, MacBook Air is also not there, but MacBook Pro is there. So that's why we have 1 in front of this. Now what we will do is we will do a group by on language and we'll take the sum. of Apple flag. So sum of Apple flag will give us 0 in this case. That means there are 0 users in Arabic language who are using the Apple product. But the total users will come out to be 2, right? So we'll take the count. So what we will do is we will do a group by language, and this will be u.language, and we will take the sum. We will take the sum of this. This will give us Apple users, number of, let's call this n underscore Apple users, or let's call this Apple users. And to calculate the total number of users, what we will do is we will just do a count star as total users. But we have not taken care of certain edge cases, but we will see that in action. Let's run this. I'll show you what we have missed. Let me run this. So playbook events.device is invalid. Okay, so yeah, we'll have to remove this. Now let's run this again. So yeah, as you can see, in Arabic, we have 0 Apple users and total users is 2, as we calculated previously. Similarly, if you go back in the video, you will see we calculated number of Apple users in Chinese is 1, and in total there were 4 users. Now let's check the solution. I think it got stuck. Let's check the solution. Let me refresh it. Yep. Sorry for the internet issue. Now let's run this again. And it failed. So let's see where it failed. So this is the solution, and this is our solution. So everything passed except Spanish and English. So let's try to debug this. So for Spanish, we got 3 and 16. Let's write this. For Spanish, we got 3 and 16. So let's see what the issue is. And we want, for Spanish, we want 3 and 9. So let me copy this and let's try to debug. Let's remove this. Now let's pick u.userid as well. And let's remove this as well. And also pick e.device. Now let's run this. Yeah, we have to remove the group by. So as though let's go to Spanish. So in Spanish, if you look at the Spanish data, as you can see here, in Spanish we have the same user who is using 3 different devices. But we have to find the unique users. So we have counted this user thrice, but we have to count it once only. So what we will do is we will do a count distinct u dot user ID, right? So now let's run this. So now as you can see in Spanish, we got 3 and 9. So Spanish is sorted. But we also got error in English as well. In English, our answer is 19 and 45. 19 and 45. And the expected output is 11 and 45. So let's look at the data for English. Let's run this one. So for English, as you can see here, we have counted this. So we took the sum, right? We took the sum. As you can see, we took the sum for 1. And if you do a sum here, what it will give? It will give us. So this is also the same user. So this will give us 6. But we want 1 only. You understood, right? Why? Because it is the same user who is using the MacBook Pro. So what we can do is, instead of 1, what we can do is we can put here u dot user ID, and if we run this now, what if we just take the distinct count of this English? So in the distinct count, this will be counted as 1. This will be 1. And in English, previously it was being counted as 4, but now this will be counted as a single user only if we do a count distinct on this column. So what we will do is we will do a count and we will do a distinct, and here we will put u dot user ID. So now let's run this one again. So in English we got 11 and 45, and this is what we wanted. So now we can remove the debugging part, and now let's submit this, and it got succeeded. So I'll try to reiterate. So first of all, we did the join. So that is simple. And after that, we did a group by on u.language because we want the distinct users who are using count of distinct users who are using any of these 3 MacBook products. And in another column, we want the distinct total users. And that is what we have done. So I hope you guys understood. But still, if you have any other doubts or if you have a better solution, you can post that in the comment section. Okay. Thank you.